How many games do you think an unranked tennis player with 0 ATP points would be able to win in a set against someone who's ranked inside the top 500 best tennis players on the planet? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out in this video. I'm on a mission to live out my childhood dream and become a professional tennis player by getting some ATP points. To do this, I need to qualify and win one round of an ITF Futures event, and in this video, I face my toughest test yet. I'm practicing with Matthew Dellavedova, who's ranked 427 in the world, and for me, beating someone at this level would essentially be like beating the big boss at the end of a video game, because this is the level that I could come up against in the first round main draw of a Futures event.
So, will I be able to get a few games on the scoreboard, or am I going to absolutely embarrass myself? Let's find out.
3, 2, 1!
Alright, so as you can tell, I got a bit carried away and spent way too much time making that intro. But anyway, let's get into this session. So Matt was over in the UK because he was playing 2 Futures events in Nottingham, and he spent a few days beforehand getting some practice on the hard courts here at our academy. Now I knew that he was probably going to want to play some points, so I really wanted to show him that I was at a good enough level to do this. And that started right from the warm-up, just trying to be as consistent as I could, really just trying to make as many balls as I can. Some of the other coaches saw him practicing a few days before and were so impressed with how little errors he made, and they weren't wrong. I mean, just look at how long this first rally was without an error being made. I'm going to have to fast forward a bit, so this video isn't 10 years long, but it just really goes to show the amount of attention to detail and focus you need in every session to get to the top levels of the game. And for me personally, it shouldn't really take me playing with someone at a top 500 level to have this focus in the warm-up, and I should really bring it regardless of the player that I'm playing against. As the rally progressed, we started adding more speed and intensity to our shots, and it wasn't until here at 3 minutes 54 seconds that the first error was made. After a while we swapped ends because the winds were so strong and we wanted to get used to playing with the different directions that the wind was blowing, but we also get a really good view here of Matt's intensity on each shot, working really hard to get into a good position with his feet and grunting on every ball, and that's something that all players can do and try and take away and implement within their next practice session. We then warmed up a few volleys and smashes, and I used to get a little bit tight feeding up smashes because it's actually a harder skill than it looks, but since I started coaching I think my hand skills have improved a lot. Something that I was focusing on with my volleys was just trying to get my body weight moving through the ball and not stepping backwards, as I do have a tendency to do this. We then played some open points without serve, where the only rule was to feed the ball in cross court and then rally it back cross court, and then after that anything goes. I think I ended up losing this about 10-3, and as you can see in this clip here, I was being consistent but wasn't really doing enough with the ball, and Matt was really able to take control of these points. But towards the end of this tiebreak it started to rain quite heavily, so we rushed inside and I was able to have a rematch of the same exercise where I tried to make it a little bit closer this time. I decided to really let go in this one and just go for my shots. I tried to use the pattern that I was working on in New York a few weeks ago with that high ball line to the backhand, and I actually ended up getting a few opportunities to attack from it. Already this 10-point tiebreak was a lot closer, and I actually started feeling that I might be able to get the win in this one. That forehand line shot is so tempting because you can see the space as you're running to it, but I've just got to think about that scoreline a little bit more and when it's the right time to pull the trigger or go safe with a high ball cross court. It's no surprise really, as soon as I start playing a little bit passive, I go down in the scoreline, and as soon as I play a bit more positively with a little bit more risk, I win more points. It's so easy saying that watching it back, but it's so tough to execute at the time. Oh, and there we go again with the forehand running shot down the line, and this time it paid off. And now I'm back in it with a chance to turn this tiebreak around. Alright, so a bit of a shame with those couple unforced errors to finish, but overall I actually found this tiebreak quite promising, as it really shows that when I'm playing aggressive I can compete at this level from the back of the court. However, I'm not going to get ahead of myself because I can't forget what Peru told me. He said that he can lose to an 11.5 UTR in the baseline game, but when serves and returns are in play, it's not going to happen. And after warming up a few serves, it was time to answer that burning question. Will I be able to win a game in a set? And after how this first game went, I started asking myself, will I actually be able to even win a point? I always find it tough going from having a lot of rhythm to having no rhythm, so coming into this set after the long rallies and those out the hand points, it was actually quite challenging for me and caused me to tighten up quite a bit. So the only way to get out of this was to give myself the target of trying to get to the net as much as I could, as I knew that this would help me go through my shots and loosen up a little bit more. Okay, so I don't know about you guys, but I think that was one of my worst attempts I've ever hit at a lob with that backhand just there. At least the tactic of getting to the net seems to be working, as it was the only way I've seemed to have 1 point so far. Also, if you're wondering why we're swapping ends at the wrong time, it's just that we didn't swap ends after the first game, so we just decided to swap every 2 games right from the start. Okay, so without being able to get close in Matt's service games, I quickly found myself 3-love down, and it was really now or never to try and hold my serve, otherwise this could quickly turn into a 6-love set. Finally, after going into our 4th game of the set, Matt finally made a couple of unforced errors, and I had the chance to win the game. I remember being in that moment, getting that smash and thinking I'm going to absolutely go for it, because it's so easy to miss smashes when you just have that little bit of hesitation, and I've done that so many times in the past. But being able to get that game on the scoreboard really helped me relax, and I was able to play some much better tennis for the rest of the set. So I'm going to stay quiet now and just let you guys enjoy the tennis. As always, it's really helpful when you give me feedback in the comment section, so if you see anything that you think I could be doing better, feel free to let me know what you think.